Hey, what is going on, crypto people? What the world? Planet networks. What's going on right now? All kind of good news. Kinetic markets got the Costin Dev testnet going on, DevNet testnet going on, and Costin. That's really cool. The assets beta is up. Can't wait to talk about that. Learned a little bit more about the USDX on Flare stablecoin. And yeah, I listened to a live, what is it, a Twitter Spaces about that as well. We'll cover some little stuff like that. But I'm excited about this F asset beta being open. Get to try some stuff out. We're getting close. We are getting close. I'm told 2024 F assets will be live. Now, I didn't think that was the case. I thought it was going to be 2025 for Flare F assets, but apparently it's 2024. We'll see. I'm excited about it. Absolutely excited about it. I think the market's doing a little something. We can go over the numbers. Corey Anderson is in the building. How are you, bro? What is going on in my life? Okay, that's what it is. Something happened there. Appreciate you checking in, Corey. Appreciate you checking in. Look, life is good right now. Corey said, I got me some play. I hear you, my guy. I hear you. I staked my FLR today. It was been delegated this long time. But I went ahead and staked it, see what's good there. Got to know rewards, little switch up FTSO stuff going on. So went and staked this, some of the FLR. But yeah, I'm excited about the news, baby. Assets beta is up and running. I'll cover the numbers because, you know, we'll go over the numbers since you guys can stomach it. But the market is just doing what the market does. We'll go over these numbers. I mean, out of nowhere, Bitcoin just goes to 70 grand. Like, what's going on? Why to? How come? Like, yeah, I mean, where is that coming from? We'll go over that as well. I've been great. Corey. Been great. Life is good. F assets beta is open. That's some good stuff. We're gonna go over just a little bit about the USDX as well. We'll cover that. That's always good to learn more about what's going on there for sure. I know the ultra low latency seems like it makes a video stream not as good. More interactive, but less quality in the video, feels like. Hmm. Interesting stuff. So look, we're gonna get into it. I mean, what? Flare networks. F asset beta. I don't know. We can go over that a little bit. I was gonna kind of try to do a run through with the DevNet on kinetic markets, but I don't know if I have Costin test on anything. I don't know if I have that. So we'll see. We'll see. What's going on, the real big wheel? Keyless is in the building. Lady Crypto is here. How are you, miss? Yeah, Flare Networks F asset beta is open. I know we can't, I know, there's an XRP army there's an anti-XRP army within that's infiltrated the XRP army that are here solely to promote other tokens and throw shade on XRP. That's interesting. Some stuff right there. That's interesting. Like an army, not one person or two or a handful. No, apparently there's an army of anti-XRP people within the XRP army. That's heavy right there. That's heavy. Now, I mean, every ecosystem has a person or two, you know, trying to be, on the passive aggressive side, pretending like they're interested in some stuff and they just really waiting for a chance to take a shot. I mean, Scams Daddy does it all the time. But Scam Daddy shows up to the real freedom zone, right? He shows up to vet spaces and is, that's the real freedom zone over there. It's the real one. All right. So look, I don't even know where do I start. Let's go over these numbers real quick. Uh, let's go over these numbers and see what's good. What's going on with the French Open right now? I don't even know. Coco Golf took down Ange Jabeur. I know that. I know that. But I don't know what's going on other than that. Did Alcaraz win? Alcaraz, what is his name? Alcaraz? Yeah, did he win? Don't know. Yeah, life is good. Let me go over these numbers real quick, guys, because French Open's going on right now. We got to see what's good. What's going on with this market? All right, let me refresh real quick because according to Gecko was saying Bitcoin's like almost 71 grand. What's going on? What is going on? I listened to Gary Cardone. I don't know if you guys know who Grant Cardone is. Gary is his twin brother, also a multi-millionaire. Not quite the billionaire like his brother or, billions in assets like his brother. But yeah, he's a big Bitcoin guy, took all his stuff, net worth, 85 to 88% of his net worth he put in Bitcoin. Interesting stuff. So there it is. According to CoinGecko, he has some really good stuff to say. I was like, wow, makes sense. All right. So what we got here? According to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap keyless is 2.78 trillion. Not quite 3 trillion yet. We still got to get back to those previous all-time highs in terms of market cap. Bitcoin's at 50% dominance, 50% dominance. And Bitcoin is trading at $70,968. Ethereum is trading at $3,814. Solana is trading at $174. I got to check my Zengo. I got to check out my wallet, see what's going on right now. What? Solana's at $174. XRP's 52 cents. On the 30-day, it is down 1%. On the 30-day, what's the Uni token? Uni tokens in the midst of apparently this, SEC coming after them. On the 30-day, their token is up 49%. Isn't there some kind of thing going on with the SEC right now on Uniswap? In the midst of that, on the 30 days, up 49%. Right? You have to kind of try and have it make sense. Let me click on Uniswap. I'm just doing 30-day. It's up 49%. This, the Wells notice and being sued and all that, I guess that's longer than 30 days. $11. It's got its lowest down to $7 in April. And in March, it was $15. That's all of this stuff is right around the Wells notice lawsuit. I don't know. I don't recall XRP doing those kind of numbers during the lawsuit. I mean, it stayed in that spot, but I'm talking price action. I'm talking about XRP holders price action. I don't recall. I don't know, but I don't recall it doing that well. But yeah, 10x. It was $1 in 2020. It was $1. Now it's 40. Now it's $11. Interesting, but it's interesting to see it doing that well, considering what's going on. 74% discount. I don't know. I'm thinking some other stuff I'm interested in, but it's interesting to see that it's doing that well. It is, Caleb. That's right. It's interesting to see it's doing that well. It's 8 billion in market cap. Remember all that Uniswap they gave to Uniswap holders? I don't remember if I got any of that Uniswap. Didn't they do airdrop stuff? I didn't get any of it. On the 30-day, Bitcoin is up 10%. Ethereum is up 21%. Solana is up 18%. And yeah, XRP is down 1%. Yeah. So let me see if I can go to this post. A couple of people shared this, but I'm going to share my guy, Mickey B. Fresh's, I believe, put the word out on this if I can find it. That is some cool stuff. Let's go here. F assets beta is live, baby. What's good? What's good? What's going on? What we got? There it is right there. Let's go. My guy, Mickey B. Fresh. You might want to buckle up. F assets beta is live. It's here. Phase 1 starts now. Technical users can get early access and help shape the FSS system. Phase 2 launches soon. What does this mean, technical? technical users. What does that mean? I don't know. Phase 2 launches soon. Everyone is invited to mint test XRP with the F Assets dashboard, phase 2. A retroactive airdrop is planned. A retroactive airdrop? What do you mean? What are we getting? What does a retroactive airdrop mean? What? Are we getting airdrops now? Goodness gracious. What are FSS exactly? Somebody asked that question. Don't know. Flanequa says more FS education is coming for now. See if this helps. What do you mean? What do you mean a retroactive airdrop, the real big whale? What are they talking about? You know, I get it. I get it. You know, there's some layer ones and players are layer one. So, you know, I just have fun. I don't know. I just have fun with times and the supposed adult in the room. Now, you know, Times latest was, you know, I can't share this flare thing. You know, the reason why I don't really share a lot of flare, because, you know, the SEC might come after them, say FLR is a security. Like, to publicly say that it's got to be embarrassing. We all covered XRP when the SEC was saying XRP is a security. We covered it every single day, 2 and 3 times a day. But the reason why you don't cover flare, because FLR might be SEC might come after them for being the security. Anyway, make it make sense. The FSS open beta is live. The eagerly awaited FSS open beta is kicking off on the Costin testnet. Like, back in the day, I had Costin up and running. I don't know if I have it. I probably have it on another browser with a phase dedicated to agents and more technical operators. Well, there you go. So I would not. We would not qualify for that right now. During this first phase, it will be necessary to interact with the FSS using a command line interface. Yeah, that won't be me. Potential agents and more technically experienced users are invited to join from June 4th, utilizing the onboarding materials and documentation developed during the closed beta. But participants interested should follow the instructions in the open beta phase 1 section below. Cool. Now, that's not going to be most of us. Don't say how long this is going to last. I think initially they might have said how long. But in any case, open beta phase 2 for everyone. The second phase of the open beta will commence when the asset dashboard is live. Okay. This will make it very easy for anyone to mint test XRP. A video will be provided giving step-by-step instructions on obtaining test XRP and CFLR, Costin Flare, I would imagine, from their faucets before using them to mint test XRP on Costin. That's what's good. Excited about it. I guess this is something what this dashboard is going to look like. Flare network activity. Let's go. It's coming, baby. It is right around the corner. That is some good stuff there. I got to do something with this XRP. I love it. What's going on, Joe? How are you, bud? Yo, Siege, your AM video was very informative today. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that, my guy. Siege, did you look at Gary Network, buddy? Gary, I have not looked at Gary Network. Do they have a token? Disclosure crypto? The real big Will says, LOL. Yeah, this is some good stuff. Look, this is some good stuff right now. What the world? Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. That'd be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. Let me do this. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. That'd be super, super cool. And listen, if you've been hanging out, listening and watching the crypto season, and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider, if you enjoy those hangouts, please consider subscribing. to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby. So you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload video. Now, they didn't mention anything. They just said retroactive airdrops. What does that mean? What does that mean? What they're saying is they're going to reward people for participating in testnet constant stuff like other ecosystems do. Yeah, I remember that too. Killa says, I remember when 500,000 in market cap in crypto was like, wow. Yep. And that's something that's crazy. Oh, you saw I love XRP. There was a Bitcoin ATM in our mall. Saw it yesterday. Nice, Corey. Yeah. I've seen one or two of those before. I've seen one or two of those before. So this is some good stuff. Look, I don't know why that's doing that. But F asset beta is live. We'll be able to hop on that here shortly. That's going to be really, really good. I was listening to a Twitter Spaces today about USDX, in case you guys were wondering. Which was interesting. Let me see if I need to stop the share. I need to go here. And let's listen to this real quick. The stablecoin on, look, it's up, it's running, clear. I think they got 10, 11 million already deposited onto the platform with the Hex trucks and the clear pool, thing. That's pretty cool. But Flare Community, Flare Community asked this question about when is retail going to be able to use this thing? I mean, it's cool for everybody else. Let me see.
Very fast, we're excited, and we think there's going to be very interesting for USDX against any asset that they wish to swap for.
Interesting. So, is there plans to allow other people to natively mint, or is that are the main, I guess, retail investors going to acquire theirs through the DEX? Would you say?
When it comes to backing and potential depegging events, is just liquidity, right? Making sure that people are able to redeem their stablecoin for fiat or vice versa when needed, right? And I think that's a really important point here is that if in order to build confidence in the stablecoin, people need to know that they're able to redeem and mint on demand, right? And I think that's really what we're trying to work towards here, is making sure that we do have a fully backed stablecoin that is both liquid and secure.
Here's the question.
And Edward, I think it's important to note that the assets backing, USDX, which is, most entirely short-term treasuries, that is the most liquid market on the planet.
It is effectively the most liquid market on the planet, and we also hold those with top-tier traditional finance custodians. So effectively, completely safe.
Very nice. If we talk a little bit about acquiring, and we highlighted redeeming there, but how, I'm sure many people in the audience will like to know this, how can people actually acquire USDX? And what is the process of redemption? Are there any fees associated with that?
Yeah, so, since we're in the first phase of the rollout, we're currently limiting the creation and redemption of USDX to KYC counterparties. So this is, for regulatory reasons, but we are working on deploying liquidity pools within DeFi, both across Flare and across Ethereum, to basically give people access to USDX against any asset that they wish to swap for.
Interesting. So
that's a good thing to know. So right now, there's 4% yield on this USDX and 4% in FLR tokens for a total of 8% in rewards for getting some USDX deposited in Clearpool, in the Clearpool T pool, the Clearpool T pool. Right, it's the KYC institutional stuff for the most part, but the non-KYC, we can go through the DEX and get some for like the retail access is going to be through some decentralized exchanges. I'm sure Gnosis is going to be one, but there's going to be apparently some liquidity pools in some other places. You'll be able to get this. Right here. Here's the T pool. I'm not going to connect. Which looks pretty cool. But there is 11 million in TVL. 11 million, just about what, 5-7 days? Not bad, 8.22%. And you see Flare is adding another 4% in rewards to make it 8.22. So it's 4% plus the 4%, right? So, which is really, 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 really cool. And you see how it says KYC not required. That's going to be, when they get that liquidity pools and get it in some liquidity pools, we'll be able to hop on a decentralized exchange, probably Uniswap on Ethereum, and maybe a Gnosis Global or something on Flare, but that's when we'll be able to get it. And that's pretty good. My thing is, like, when you're getting rewards, for me, it's not necessarily so much the APR, even though the APR is huge. It's like, what are you getting rewards in? What if the APR was 75%, but your rewards is in meme coins? Nothing wrong with meme coins. But what if your rewards was in meme coins and you're getting 75% APR? Right? Or would you rather have 8% over here? 75% meme coins, 8% here, right? So the asset you get is just as important. In fact, in most liquidity pools and rewards you get, the number one consideration is actually the assets that you're getting. So, this would be worth some dollars for me, right? Because if you're getting the FLR token, right? The definition of vision is seeing it before the masses see it. So for me, getting some FLR in addition to the freaking, what is it? The airdrop things we're getting? What do they call those 36 things? I forget what they call them. Anyway, we're getting that as well. It's worth a few dollars. 11 million in 5 to 7 days. That's pretty, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Our guy, Mickey B. Fresh, did a little write-up on his blog. You guys can definitely follow Mickey B. Fresh on Medium. USDX Flare's native stablecoin by Hex Trust earn yield by staking in the Clearpool T-Pool. Again, retail will be able to be participate in this, and I think that is massive. USDS will serve as a building block for the emerging DeFi and bridge ecosystem on Flare, says Hugo. USDX has been issued natively on Flare by HT Digital Assets. So in that Twitter Spaces, one guy was from HT Digital Assets, the other guy was from Clearpool. Hex Trust, with billions of dollars currently under management of digital assets, is also a strategic partner with Ripple in HKMA EHKD CBDC pilot that includes tokenization of real estate as collateral. Ripple has also invested into 2 Hex Trust funding rounds, and Hex Trust recently integrated the XRP ledger into Safe, their institutional custody platform for institutional DeFi on the XRP. So we're talking about a pretty good source, Hex Trust. Hex Trust is hooking up with some 2 pretty significant layer 1s, Flare networks, and the XRPL. Hex Trust is also running some key infrastructure since January. Interesting. Hex Trust launched their FTSO on Flare network. So they got, they got their skin in the game, if you will. Hex's FTSO provides institutional clients holding FLR, the ability to earn passive income on the FLR held by Hex Trust Bank grade custody platform. Hex Trust is not messing around. They're in the game here. XRP ledger into safe. I feel like I should know what that is. But Hex Trust is not messing around, man. Hex Trust is integrated with the XRP ledger, a decentralized. Okay. So this is, they got billions in assets and they're integrated. So then, February 1st, 2024. Through the integration of the XRPL into our core custody platform, HexSafe, we have expanded our support for users within the XRPL ecosystem. This integration grants both current and prospective HexSafe customers the opportunity to leverage the benefits of the XRPL. We offer access to the native digital asset of the XRPL, ledger, XRP, other fungible tokens through the enablement of the trust line functionality, support for NFTs, the ability to make partial payments and integrate raw transactions. This is good stuff. Just to let you know a little bit about Hex Trust. They're not messing around. They're hooking up with the XRPL, hooking up with Flare. If Assets is about to hit the building, life is good right now. I'm telling you, life is good. Life is good. Wow, almost 6,000 people tuned in. That's a big audience. Into what? The spaces? I didn't even look and see. Was it that many people in that? Keyless says, wow, almost 6,000 people tuned in. That's a big audience. Keyless, are you talking about spaces with Flare Networks? What's going on, A. Joseph C? It's been a while, bro. How are you? Appreciate you checking in tonight. 6,000 people. Wow. That's a ton. 75% will be 0.0075 in that APR. Yeah. So, something to consider, something to ponder. I mean, when you're talking about providing liquidity, the assets that you'll be earning rewards in is an important part of it all, in my opinion. What do you think about that? Flare Networks got a little 4% for the USDX thing and 8% in Flare and 4% yield, and for a total 8+%. And this constant thing going on right now for the F Assets beta, they're going to do a what the world? A retroactive airdrop. Incentives. Incentivize some people for participation. Incentivize people participation. I tell people my story all the time about Solana. Right? I participated in 4 or 5 different platforms within the Solana ecosystem. What I should say, one of them was Jupiter Exchange. Yeah, so it was Marinade. It was wait a minute. So it was Marinade. It was MarginFi. Yeah, MarginFi. It was Camino. There was Drift Protocol, and there's Jupiter Exchange. Well, got a little something for, kind of doing some stuff on Camino, got a little something for doing some stuff on MarginFi, and I got an airdrop for participating on Jupiter Exchange. Yeah. Got a meme coin for participating. Day one, it was worth $1,000. $1,000. Yeah. And a few weeks later, 750, 700, maybe even got as low as 650. Then a few weeks later, it was up to $1,600. An airdrop, $1,600. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm just constantly in the Solana ecosystem now. First, I started, intention was for airdrops. But since these, since 3 out of the 5 platforms rewarded me with some stuff, I'm still there. Still participating. Still participating. Still hanging out. Still paying my Solana transaction fees. Still using that exchange, Jupiter Exchange. Right? You understand what it does? It creates a kind of a loyal community. It does. They work if you do them the right way. If you do them the right way. Some people are so stingy with their airdrops and so restrictive with their airdrop farming thing that people just get frustrated and they just go away. They never go back to it again. But others are generous. I'm listening to some dude. The dude's name is Meow. Like I'm listening to his YouTube videos. He's the co-founder of Jupiter Exchange. I'm listening to his stuff. I wouldn't know what else they got going on. Because my thinking in the back of my brain is if they're generous, maybe there's more to it. Now, obviously, the exchange is incredible. It's incredible, Keyless. I think Moy Finance is they're gonna almost look alike. I really do believe it. I believe Moy Finance, for the XRPL community, is gonna look very identical to Jupiter Exchange from Solana. I put it down, mark it in the books. No, I didn't disclose the crypto. I asked you, if they have a token I can check out? Do they have a token that I can go on CoinGecko and check out? I believe that. And my thing again is active participation is rewarding. Active participation is rewarding. Flare networks, their beta, the beta is rewarding people for active participation. Yeah. You understand? One of the questions I asked in the interview with David Schwarz, I don't know if he asked it, but I did put it out to my guy, Solomon. Hey, when liquidity event for the XRPL AMM? When the liquidity incentive event? You got to promote active participation. Got to promote it. Yeah, you got to promote it. And people from outside of the XRPL ecosystem will come and participate because there's an event coming on. Now, some of them will keep that XRP if it happens to be a reward. Some won't. But they'll participate. And if you treat them well, they'll stay. If you treat them well. And I tell people this too, because that $1,500, $1,600 thing, I ended up taking $300-$400 of that and investing it in the gaming space and taking a gaming play with that money. Yes, Keela says, Siege, do you know if we have to do something to get the retroactive airdrop? Yeah, we will have to do something because the announcement is for the F asset beta. So my guess is that F asset beta participation, right, in on the costing or whatever, however it's going to be done. That would be my guess. That's exactly right. Keela says exactly. But you expose enough people to something, it will connect with the few at least, and that's the goal. Exactly. Now you got to pay attention. Come on, Ripple X, you got to pay attention to what's going on. You can't be like the supposed adult in the room and suggest that Solana's success is because of meme coins. You got to study what's going on over there. It hasn't started yet, Keyless. Let me see here. Oh yeah. Let me copy this. This is a link to the article, but it hasn't started yet. Only like the technical, wannabe agents, hope to be agents, and technical people. But then the beta for everyone will be shortly thereafter. So yeah, really, really excited about that. But my point is, got to get that liquidity incentive event. You can point to, relative success of USDX right now with Hex Trust and the Clearpool T-Pool, and expect that for the XRPL. I would expect that for the XRPL. We gotta get, we gotta educate some people on how to use stuff, right? We gotta educate some people on how to use some things, why to provide liquidity, how to provide liquidity. We got some stuff we got to work on in the community mentally, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Absolutely going to get there. Ripple stablecoin is going to be really, really good for XRP. Stablecoin with the liquidity is going to be great. There are going to be some liquidity pairs, but again, got to have a liquidity event. Can't have no regular liquidity pools. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8%. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10%. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Especially for the XRP holders. They got the death grip on their ledgers. You got if you want to loosen that grip up on those ledgers, you're gonna have to come up with a real liquidity event. Yeah. Gonna have to do that for sure. Because right now, people don't understand what liquidity pools are. They don't understand how to use it, and they don't understand the value of them. Right? But we're going to change all that. We are going to change. I know I'm going to do my part for sure, so people will know. But this is just some great stuff. Shout out to Mickey B. Fresh for sharing this. Oh, so I did a video earlier today. I talked about kinetic markets on Flare, coming to Flare, lending protocol. I talked about their liquid staking platform that's coming. It's called Scepter. TRE. And I was saying that, my experience, when you get this next level layer ones, generally first to the market lending protocol, first to the market liquid staking platform, they tend to win. And I showed a great example of the base chain, which is layer 2, and, kind of the first to the market to base was something called Airdrop Finance. Within 7, 8, 9 months, that token that they had, I mean, my goodness, it was millions of % increase. Millions of a percentage change. Will that happen with Flare Network's liquid staking platform, Scepter? Will that happen with Flare Network's lending protocol platform, Kinetic Markets? I don't know. My experience is that it's well worth checking it out, being early to that. So, and I shared an example in my video earlier, but if you guys didn't catch it, let me share some stuff. What we got going on here? All right. So yeah, let's do this. Base chain is doing its thing right now. It's a layer 2. Are we going to ignore base chain? I don't think so. I'm not ignoring it. I provided liquidity there. What is that? No, I don't need that. What's going on here? RIF, that's Bitcoin stuff right there. That's Bitcoin stuff. Let's just give you an example. I don't know. It's the possibility, the real big will. This is what happens, right? Let me share my screen. There's no guarantees, but if you're in the game, you never know. I mean, we're here to create generational wealth for ourselves and our family. We're not beholden to one digital asset or one chain or one company on a chain. That's not why we're here. This is DeFiLlama.com. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click on the base chain. So right now, DeFi's total TVL is 100 million, down what? I think it was a one-time, I thought we were doing 200 at one time. Am I not right there? I thought it was 200. I could have sworn it was over 2. But anyway, this says 170 something was the highest. Right now, TVL, overall DeFi ecosystem, 108 billion. You click on base here, see what's going. What's the TVL on the base chain, layer 2? Coinbase's thing, It says 1.77 billion on there, right? So just like Flare Networks, there's a lending protocol on there. It's called Moonwell. Of course, the OG Aave is on there. But then there are decentralized exchanges. And let me see. Launchpad. Liquid staking. Renzo is on there, right? So you see liquid staking on there as well, right? So Flare Networks got a lending protocol coming, and they got a liquid staking platform coming. So think of liquid staking, think of Lido. Lido came in and changed that game, offered the liquid staking or staking, right? For ETH, right? But you didn't have to have, I believe, Lido, you don't have to have the 32 or whatever. Anybody can do it, right? From what I understand. Lido's doing pretty good in TVL, if I looked it up. But anyway, Airdrop is a decentralized exchange, Airdrop Finance. It's on base. It's 717 million TVL. It's the central trading and liquidity marketplace on base. It says here you can swap and you can provide liquidity. Got liquidity pools going on over there, right? This is the stuff they do. Airdrop Finance is the next generation AMM designed to serve as base's central liquidity hub, combining a powerful liquidity incentive and all kind of stuff, right? Liquidity pools over here. Right? They got a token. I don't know if the token came out before the day it launched. I don't know. Let's see if it'll load some of this stuff here. Or is it going to ask me to connect the wallet? Nope, it's going to load. So these are liquidity pools. They got stable, they got a volatile, they got concentrated. My friend, I love them. And they got something called incentivized liquidity pools. But in any case, look, USDC and their token, Aerodrome token, 110%. This is a projection. It's not an exact number, but it's projection. 110%, right? Volume says 8 million. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That meets the numbers. But in any case, they got a token, right? They got a token. It's called Aero, A-E-R-O. So if you look up Aero on CoinGecko, I'm just saying, this is a possibility. It's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. It's a possibility. New layer 1, new project first to launch on new layer 1. And it just ain't, Flare Networks ain't just any kind of layer 1. Is base chain just any kind of layer 2? Coinbase's thing, is that just any kind of thing? No. Flare Networks is just not some layer 1 just launched. Right? So here's Airdrop Finance. It's $1.07 current, right? All-time high of the token was $2. $2.31 all-time high. Guess what the all-time low of the token was? 8 months ago. 8 months ago. It was 1861. It's currently up from the all-time low of 1861. It's like there's so many numbers here. I don't even know. Let's say 5,773,000%. Is this going to happen on Flare networks with the lending protocol, kinetic markets, or the liquid staking thing, Scepter? I don't know. But I'm just saying, if we're waiting around for institutions to hop on the XRPL, we don't, and we don't know about this. If we're enamored with ETHgate, and we don't know about this, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. In a few months, they're at 514 million in the market cap. In a matter of months. It's not even been a year, Aquila, since it's launched. Base chain. Some people said, oh man, Coinbase got a chain? Coinbase got a chain. Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna be on that Coinbase chain. Oh, this project is like the first project on here. What they got going on over here? Oh, it's the first one? Oh, I'm on this thing. I'm going to see what's good. Now, I didn't know about airdrop finance. I was airdrop farming in Solana. I was airdrop farming on Layer Zero and Wormhole and goodness gracious. I don't know what else, right? I was all over there. I was all over there. Right? You know, I blessed, got some Jupiter tokens. I don't know if what's it going to do. I don't know. So I forgot to mention the Jupiter exchange tokens I got. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But I was there because, you know, I wasn't fixated on ETHgate. But in any case, I don't know. Is 5 million% interesting? Is that interesting to someone? You know, I say this in love, but the XRP holders they gotta get out of that bubble. Like this bubble. This is a whole ecosystem. And if you listen to the supposed adult in the room, if you talk about another token or you're part of the anti-XRP army. I mean, I don't know. Keyless, I don't know. 5% is 5 million% interesting. Is that interesting to somebody? You know? Joe says, does anyone know the yield the XRP AMM pays out in a month? Well, it depends on which liquidity pool you're in, brother. But I don't remember seeing anything more than the most was 9-10% a year in APR. So right now, the APRs are not appealing. Right now, the TVL is not appealing. Right now, the 24-hour volume, if you follow, kind of my 7 rules for entering a liquidity pool, they're not stacking up right now. But I do believe Ripple X is going to come up with some stuff. I believe they're going to come up with liquidity incentive events. Yeah, I mean, it was nice. We got the 6-figure percentage gain in Matic. That was awesome. That was awesome. 6-figure percent. That's not bad. Right? 100,000%. That's not bad, right? But that we weren't early to that. We were just the timing, right? I mean, EGLD, formerly called Elron Gold, we were early to that. VeChain, we're early to that. That was a big win, right? I'm just saying that they're available outside. All of those wins, I don't know. Those have been outside of the XRPL. For me. But it's at the most, I believe I've seen 8, 9, 10% APR, right? So that's for the year. Dudes I'm hanging out with is 7, 8, 10% a month. You just got to know. You got to be in the know. You got to have the skills. You got a mindset. You got to have the skill set. You got to know where to look. You got to have the skill set. You got to know how to enter. You got to know how to do your homework on the assets. You got to know how to do your homework on the decentralized exchanges that you're hopping on. Right? There's skill. It's a skill set required to make money, cash flow, and liquidity pools. I didn't know. I thought I would just hop on these things and all these different ecosystems and I would make money. I didn't know. But now that I know, I share with you guys. And I believe that Ripple X has got to come up with something to make it work. Because the XRPL is it's ginormous. It's ginormous. But the grassroots people, I believe, have to be on there first for institutions to come. That's what I believe. I may be wrong. Maybe someone is going to bring their billions to a liquidity pool of 10 million. Maybe that's 10 million collectively. I mean, I think it was collectively. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they'll bring their billions. I don't know. But I would say I don't think so. Joe Buddy says he's on Saucer Swap getting 34% APR. So I'm just saying. So I believe Ripple X is going to get something. We got to get something going. Got to get something going. Now, my guys shared with me the interview. Let's see if I can find it with David Schwarz in the XRPL. And I don't know if he asked my question or not. We'll see.
Here, super excited to be with Genfinity. Equally excited today to be able to interview the man, the myth, the legend himself, David Schwarz. Here we are again, Consensus 2004. David, I'd love to ask you as we start here, can you talk about Ripple's vision and the roadmap for, just an overview of the roadmap for institutional DeFi on the XRP ledger?
Sure. So Ripple's vision to have DeFi applications on decentralized censorship-resistant blockchains like the XRP ledger that also can have institutional participants that can meet their regulatory requirements and have meaningful interoperability between those two ecosystems. So the most obvious example of that is the stablecoin that we announced. A stablecoin is regulatory compliant. It's issued to customers of Ripple who go through KYC and AML proceedings, but then it winds up like on automated market makers, or people wind up holding it who are not customers of Ripple or connected to Ripple in any way. And it enables a sort of decentralized DeFi ecosystem that ties back to organization. We see that happening with on-chain lending. All of these applications where both institutions and sort of grassroots adoption can grow together. And the reason I think that that's so important is if you look at how compelling ecosystems grow, it's that synergy between grassroots adoption and enterprise adoption. That's what fired the development of the internet. If it's just a bunch of like tech, really love the technology, that's not going to really ignite like grassroots adoption, like bulk adoption, because it's too focused on the technology. And if you just have enterprise adoption, well, that's great for enterprises, but that's not going to enable these DeFi use cases that are the reasons we're all so passionate about the space. So I think the vision here, and I think it's the whole industry kind of turning that corner of building systems that both have an institutional component and a grassroots component that actually do work together, so it makes sense to have them in the same. It's not like there's this and they don't have anything to do with each other. Yeah. Which isn't very cool.
I think it's interesting too. I mean, if we look back a few years compared to where we're at now, I always joke that I feel like I'm desensitized by the amount of kind of real world things that we're kind of seeing going on with the technology. Think about like the regulated liability network in the UK. And I know that Ripple's obviously had quite a few proof of concepts, but does it surprise you that we're seeing this level of like actual kind of, let's say, go live events with some of these areas of adoption? And would you expect that trend to continue over time?
I think the thing that surprised me the most is the pivot from the small projects with like second or third tier companies, which makes a lot of sense. If you're not the biggest in the space, you're very aggressive, you're very hungry, you have to try new things because you want to take market share. But what I really didn't expect was to see like tier one companies, HSBC, for example, BlackRock, like companies that we've all heard of that deal with like huge, absurd amounts of money, experimenting with these new technologies this early, and it's not, and they're saying that these are not experiments for them. They're saying like, this is like, you know, it's early days, but this is going to be a product. This is something that we have some level of institutional commitment to. That I think is really surprising to see that. Because again, I thought they would be the very drag kicking and screaming, right? It's like, you know, made the iPod, but they didn't, Apple did. And then you know, come like big, like, you know, household name companies that have been around get dragged kicking and screaming into new technology. It's fascinating and exciting, I think, to see these tier one companies saying, we think tokenization of real world assets is going to be an $18 trillion business in just, you know, 4 years.
Yeah.
Like that's surprising. And of course, a very good sign.
Yeah, and I mean, on the RWA aspect, I mean, it's interesting to see this kind of shift because tokenization of real world assets has been going on for, you know, the past handful of years. You can think about real estate was like kind of the one maybe 3 or 4 years ago that everybody was talking about.
Very difficult from a regulatory standpoint.
For sure. But then when you think about, you know, what real world assets actually are, I think a lot of the times people think about financial instruments, but really you can take it out to people, places, data, things, and what that kind of looks like as far as tokenization is concerned. We hear that, you know, the whole world's going to be tokenized. Do you feel like that's a little bit of an obtuse statement, or where do you feel like makes sense for tokenization to occur in the near term and then looking further out?
I think financial instruments, things like treasuries and securities, tokenized stock, I think that makes a lot of sense because where the benefits of like what public blockchains can do, because public blockchains are sort of expensive. Like if you were a bank, you wouldn't put all your customer data on a public blockchain. It doesn't make any sense. They're expensive. You have to be able to get some real value out of that. And where I think that value is like the clearest is in these financial use cases where you have people who don't have access to like a good way to make a return. They can basically stuff money in their mattress, or their local currencies are, you know, subject to inflation. And they may not be able to adopt these sort of regulated things directly. Like they probably couldn't do business with Ripple directly, but they could get the Ripple stablecoin out of DEX. And they can have access to lending protocols where they could be the lenders. So they could get a return at very low risk without some company having to decide that they're worth serving because they have challenges of scale, regulatory issues. So I think that's where that makes the most. And I think other use cases will probably follow on later. But I think where the money is, you know, makes the most sense. That where the people are the poorest served, where you don't have to be fantastic to be competitive. If you have to beat out, you know, companies like JP Morgan Chase have spent billions of dollars building these financial products that are very efficient for specific use cases. Like if you need to move US dollars to Europe, like they've got that nailed. If you had to compete with them in that market sector to be successful, you would have to spend absurd amounts of money before you could ever make, you know, do anything. So I think targeting the sort of long tail of underserved use cases where it's not profitable to build a product that's specifically, if you had to build the whole product just for them, it wouldn't make any sense. I think that's where that sort of long financial tail. And then it may, as you mentioned, like all people, places, other things. Real estate, I think, makes sense because real estate is very expensive.
Yeah.
It's difficult to use it as collateral for lending. It's difficult to do fractional ownership. So where there are specific pain points and there's high value, like that's great. Obviously, if there's low value, it's hard to justify spending money to fix the problem. And if there's no pain points, well, why would anybody care that you can maybe argue a theoretical advantage, but they don't see it tangibly.
And I would love if you, I know we talked about this last year just briefly, but I mean, the automated market maker, the AMM is live, native within the XRP ledger. What does this represent for you? I mean, what have we kind of seen thus far as AMM usage? And then how do you kind of envision that maybe transforming as, individual knowledge bases get up, or maybe institutions want to start leveraging things like I'm just curious your thoughts as far as where we're at now with the AMM, and then how people, in your opinion, will leverage it maybe in the future.
I think it's a good example of like the bridging between the sort of institutional use case and the sort of like ground up use case. Like institutional, like there are going to be enterprise grade stable coins that are going to be the tokens that these AMMs are trading. But there are going to be participants who may be, underserved, who take capital, buy into the AMM, and then they can get a yield from providing liquidity. And then there's liquidity. It's like a great mix. I think where the future gets interesting is where there's just more use of the liquidity. So if you're providing liquidity, your return is based on what the demand for liquidity is. And the demand for liquidity is not as high as obviously I would like, obviously how right is we would like to see it a lot higher. And so I think as these use cases, there's a sort of synergy. If people are using an asset for payments, then they need liquidity. People are using an asset for loans and they're making payments, they need liquidity because they're going to be moving between different assets. So I think where there's that synergy where AMMs become part of a vibrant ecosystem, where there's a lot of demand for liquidity. A supply of liquidity doesn't do you any good if there's no demand for it, and a demand for liquidity doesn't do you any good if there's no supply. And so I think growing those things where all these use cases can sort of cross-pollinate and provide a sort of compelling, attractive sort of pack.
Yeah, so there it is. There's my guy doing his thing. I'm sure that it's going to get great. So again, for me, I would not sleep very much on Moy Finance. Apparently, Orchestra Finance feels a little bit like the darling a little bit. But I'm a big fan of DexFi.pro. I'm a big fan of DexFi.pro and Moy Finance. I think those are going to be the game changers, but we'll see. Small Business Doctors, Crypto Fan, remember to like, subscribe, and share the stream. What's going on, Small Business Doctors? How are you, my friend? On your Twitter social account to help Seeds grow channel reach. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm reading the comments here. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and yeah, trust me, I'm, 6-figure down, right? I took a 6-figure L, right? So you got to be careful where you put your stuff for sure. Now, that wasn't a liquidity pool. That was what, interestingly enough, a third party, an intermediary. But my liquidity was more than 97% of XRP holders was on a DEX, was on just a smart contract, and nothing happened to that. Isn't that crazy? 6-figure loss with a centralized entity, intermediary, 6 figures. And with the smart contract, and again, I can't complain because I know that XRP over there was more than 97% of XRP holders and probably 98% of XRP holders. So I can't complain, but I thought it was interesting. Smart contract, no issues. Liquidity pool and smart contract, no issue. Blending, smart contract, no issue. So be careful for sure. Right? It's just kind of the way it is. So there it is, fam. I wanted to share a little bit of David Schwarz because I know my guy Solomon wanted to, you guys to go check him out on Genfinity. You can watch the interview on Genfinity. Let me see if I got it there. Genfinity. I don't know if he put that on his YouTube channel or if that's just on his Genfinity thing. I have to check that and see. But guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. Yeah, FSX beta is open. I probably will do like a live stream or something going through that when it comes available to all of us. Keelan says, any word on your flare on Celsius? Any more news? No. The last I got is the new company called Ionic Digital said they did not receive the FLR tokens from Flare Networks. Hugo from Flare Networks says, yeah, we sent the FLR tokens. So that's kind of the latest and greatest on that. So there it is, fam. FSS is open. We're going to do a video on that. We'll do a video, I think, too, on using the beta, testing it out. It's really easy. It's be real simple, I'm sure. You get yourself some test tokens, You're probably going to have to put the constant network on the testnet on MetaMask, which is really, really easy to do. I'll walk through that as well. And yeah, we'll play around with that for sure. Retroactive airdrops, I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm excited about that. That's right, Keila. Somebody has it and somebody stole it. It's so wrong. Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, you got to, I already put my stuff into, to the court system, see if there's going to be any kind of case to be held. I haven't heard anything about it yet, but push come to shove, if I have to get my own attorney and look, this is what I got all the numbers, I got the numbers of how much FLR was on there that was supposed to be given. So we'll figure it out for sure. Because yeah, I'm not going to let that FLR go. No, that's that's a significant amount of FLR. Not going to let that go for sure. But unfortunately, with the Chapter 11 process, it's just nasty. It's just nasty. And what they try to do is they just, I don't know, almost want to prey on just the regular Joe and Jane. It's just not great. But I have both things. I got the recorded post of Ionic Digital saying that Flare Networks didn't give them the FLR. I got the post from Hugo saying, yeah, we did. But what we didn't do is say that you can turn the FLR into Bitcoin and ETH. The agreement was supposed to be FLR distributed to the holders. Chapter 11 people are saying like, well, the judge and the SEC and all these other people, all this kind of stuff. It's because the distribution of all tokens and Celsius came out in Bitcoin and ETH. So your Bitcoin Cash, your EOS, your Cardano, your Matic, your whatever tokens. And now they're trying to put the airdrop Flare in the same category and turn that into Bitcoin and or ETH. And I think what Hugo was saying was that was never the agreement. And it was a big agreement. The agreement is in the court documents. It's in recorded court documents, the agreement between what was previously known as Celsius Network and Flare. You distribute the Flare tokens to the appropriate people, and Flare was going to give Celsius a certain amount of FLR tokens. Yeah, that's BS. I call BS. That's the excuse they gave. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I got to get to the bottom line of it because, I'm not going to let that go away that easily. So I'm excited for the USDX. I'm excited, or for Flare, I'm excited about Ripple stablecoin. Again, I want to see what's good with this liquidity incentive event for the AMM. Because right now, yeah, it's not cutting it. They're going to have a liquidity event. Flare has already done it. 4% APR, Flare tokens for participating. They're already doing their 36-month airdrop thing, whatever that's called. I don't even know what it's called anymore. And they got a Costin testnet beta coming up, and they're doing an airdrop for that. So Ripple X, what you got, babe? What you got, Ripple X? What you got? Now, I'm supposing that a lot of this is probably because of the lawsuit, and I'm supposing, don't know, but I'm supposing that maybe that's it. Maybe they want this, they want this thing under wraps, before they do anything. I'm supposing. I don't know. We'll see. But I got faith, man. I do. I really, really do. I'm not giving hope on my FLR tokens. I'm not giving hope on this. Look, the XRPL is, that DEX, that AMM, I mean, that the lending protocol is next level stuff. But David just said you need both groups. And in my opinion, you need the institution top-down approach. You need the grassroots bottom-up approach. In my opinion, the first movers that are necessary are the grassroots bottom-up. And the only way you're going to get the death grip off of the XRP holders, XRP, and participating in the AMM is with some liquidity events. Got to be some incentives. And 7, 8, 9% APR, that's not going to do it. So what you got? What you got? We're going to see. It's going to be interesting to see, for sure. But for me, I know that look, Uniswap would not be Uniswap unless it was a ground up approach. Aave wouldn't be Aave. MakerDAO would not be MakerDAO. MakerDAO didn't hook up with institutions until about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2. Maybe. Aave, same thing. Man, Aave's hooked up with some institutions as well. It was the ground up approach, the grassroots people first. Right? Because are you coming to some new thing you don't know very much about with billions of dollars and there's nothing going on? There's no transactions. There's no volume. There's no, right? You're not doing that. You got the grassroots is going to have to start it. In my humble opinion, they're going to have to start it. So that's us. That's us. And it's going to take more than just me talking about it and, encouraging people. I'm going to do my part to educate you guys on what it looks like and why you want to participate and how you participate and what it looks like and all that stuff. We'll see if they're going to have like a real concentrated liquidity pool. We'll see. We'll see if that's going to ever come to fruition. But right now, again, that yield is, that's not going to cut it. So hopefully we'll get some pools with some people created when the stable coin comes, that's going to have some, APRs, 20, 30, 40, 60, 70, 80, 100% APRs. And those things fluctuate. They go up some, they go down, then they come back up some. But, trying to make your liquidity pools look like TradFi ain't going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. So, 7, 8% a year. You ain't going to create a grassroots movement that way. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Now, this stablecoin thing with this Hex Trust, that's a different thing. 4%, that's different. The launch of the stablecoin, perhaps is a little different, but they're going to have to get the right stuff going. I think some kind of, because, maybe, I don't know what, if Flare Networks can do 4% FLR, what can that monster behemoth that is Ripple and Ripple X division of Ripple, what can they do? I don't know. They can do 20% XRP. Couldn't they? Can they do 20% XRP? Flare's doing 4% rewards. Couldn't they do 20% XRP? Couldn't they? I think they could. I think they could. They could do maybe more than that. They could. I mean, $1 billion XRP, $1 billion, $1 billion XRP every year coming out of escrow. Right? What kind of percent? They could do something. Right? You couldn't tell me they couldn't do something. They could do something. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting, real interesting to see. These rewards are going to be in XRP. Some of them will be in XRP. What are XRP holders going to do when they can get rewarded in XRP? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Right? You took what's his name was saying today. Gary Cardone. I don't know if you guys know Gary Cardone is the identical twin brother of Grant Cardone, the famous real estate dude. Well, Gary Cardone is a hugely successful business person, hugely successful. And he was saying, no. What you do is you go create some income, dirty, nasty fiat somewhere, and you bring it into the crypto space. You got to create some stuff. This is the trade of a lifetime. Go create some income. He said, buy Bitcoin. Now, what I would say is go create some income and participate in Ripple's liquidity event. When they have it. Or, in the meantime, you can hang out with Crypto Siege at patreon.com/golf whiskey mastermind and learn how to take some of that dirty, nasty fiat and earn 100%, 200%, 300% APR on your stuff. I don't know. You think the SUI token is valuable? SUI? I don't know. I think so. You think the Jupiter exchange token is valuable? I don't know. I think so. I'm earning 87% in Jupiter and Solana. You think those assets are valuable? I think so. Oh, let me share this with you. This is hugely important. Raoul Paul put this out. I mean, this is hugely important. I mean, some people think that Solana is meme coins, right? So you got to be careful who you listen to. I don't know why this is doing this. It's like it's stuck there or something. Oh, no, they're all stuck. Let's see. Let's see. They're all stuck. I want to share something with you guys. What's going on here? See, did that work? Joe says, I think the rewards will be in another token to keep the SEC off their back. And you could be right, bro. You could absolutely be right. My thing is, I don't know when they're going to launch it. I don't know. My laptop is completely frozen. That's great. Or the browser's frozen. That is crazy. I can't get this thing to work. I was going to show you guys something, but I can't get it to work. Let me see if my share screen works. If that works, I'll just do this. Yeah, I'll do that. I want to share this. This is from Raoul Paul. This is important. It's something to pay attention to for sure. If I can get it to work. Okay, good. Well, oh, maybe I got some little internet stuff going on. I might have some internet issues going on. Anyway, I'll have to show you guys next time. Laptop is just not, it ain't cooperating here. He say 87%? Who says 87%, Joe? So we'll see what it's going to look like. But I think that's going to be hugely important. I wanted to show this tweet from Raoul Paul, but this laptop's just not cooperating, or the internet's not cooperating. I don't know which one it is, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. All right. I'll have to share it another time, but it's hugely important. It essentially was saying the return on investment from the currently most successful trade in the NASDAQ. When I say most successful this year, last year, whatever, was like 17%. Then it showed the return of Bitcoin. It showed the return on Ethereum, and it showed the return on Solana. And all three of those year over year was 100% or more. And the best performing thing in the NASDAQ was 17%. 17%. Bitcoin, 100% or more. Ethereum, more than Bitcoin. Solana, more than Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's really interesting because we can become so enamored with these crazy returns in this little window that we call a bull run. And we forget about the year over year, year on year return from just holding it. And that includes the bear market pullbacks. Includes the bear market pullbacks. Keyless, you got something? Yeah, let's see if I can, I don't know what's going on. My laptop is just, I think I stressed my laptop out too much. So I'm gonna try and see if I can click it. But that is probably it. Says you. Oh, I said 87. Oh, yeah, 84%. No, it's not on the Solana and Jupiter was 80 something percent. It was over 100%. It's on Orca. Sui is on Turbos. I'm trying to get this to play, Keyless. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on my laptop right now. Everything's stuck, nothing moving. Laptop is frozen. So, but yeah, that's probably it, right? This is where he says, don't F this up, DTFU. Keyless, yeah, that's probably that one. No, it's a post. Yeah, it's a Twitter post. Yeah. And it's just people, we just, again, we don't have these numbers like Raul Paul has, but it's great that Raul Paul shares a lot of this. I mean, you can't argue that, right? Like people are just sleeping on Bitcoin and talking about technology and talking about slow for transactions. And they're forgetting that year over year, it's 100 and some percent. Yeah, that's it right there. Thank you, Keyless. Here is the monthly XPAM update on annualized returns on all major assets. Best major TradFi assets is NDX at 17% annualized, 17%. Major crypto assets, Bitcoin is 141%. Ethereum is 152%, and Solana is 224%. This includes, thank you, Keyless, so much for sharing that. This includes the bear market pullbacks or retraces or whatever you call them. Those numbers are included in these numbers. Where are you getting those returns? Where are you getting those returns? That's why Gary Cardone today in his interview with Altcoin Daily, and then later I listened to what Mark Yusko was like, he said the same thing Raul Paul said. He said diversification is dead. Raul Paul just said that as well. Tell me why these two guys, hugely successful, are saying the same thing. I hope my stream didn't end. Is Joe leaving? I got a crash, fam. Midnight here in PR. Oh, thanks, Seed. You're welcome, brother. Good night. Thanks for checking in, bro. I don't know if my stream crashed or whatever. But think about that, guys. He's saying you can't, this is him. He says 88% of his net worth, Gary Cardone, he's multimillionaire, is in crypto, is in Bitcoin. So his tens of millions of dollars is in Bitcoin, earning roughly 150% every year on return. Raul Paul and the other macro trader, they said 85% of their stuff in crypto. Raul, so I don't know. And Raul Paul's stuff is in Solana and other stuff. It ain't in Bitcoin. So I think there's like this awakening that we have to have, because again, I know a lot of us, we look in that little window, 3 months, 4 months, I don't know, 6 month bull run. We see those gains, and those are awesome, those gains, but we're missing these gains here. And right, we're missing these gains, and I'm guilty of this as well, because ultimately we have to revert back. I say this for me, revert back to the old days of, in 2016, early 2017, we're in these altcoins in order to get more Bitcoin. Well, now we're in these altcoins in order to Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm talking about year over year, because a lot of people getting these things, they get these bull runs, and they're out in stables, or they take the stables to dollars and they're out, and then they come back into the market. And what both Raoul Paul and my opinion, and people like Jeff Booth and people like Gary Cardone are saying that stable coin is cool. Fiat dollar makes no sense. Stable coins are cool, but if you just held those assets, even with the 85, 95% drawbacks year over year, those are the annualized returns on your money. And it took a while for me to have this really like click. Now, look, XRP holders, we got jammed up big time. We missed the bull run. Just like 2021 thing, we missed it. I made mistakes in taking six-figure percentage gains in Matic, and I just put it back into what I thought was going to do its thing, and we didn't get the run. It didn't happen. We didn't get the run. And then, Celsius happened, right? And so, just this life. But can you argue those numbers? 141%. If you got 100,000, 150% a year later on your 1,000, on your 10,000, on your 100,000 annualized. Is that good? And this is this is annualized. This is, 2024, then 2025, then 2026. Bitcoin, it doesn't feel like it's going in the other direction. Does Bitcoin feel like it's going in the other direction? Even when we get a 50% pullback and the 85% stuff happens in the bear market, does it feel like it's going back? Or, if you held on and just dollar cost average in, you would be better off. Would you be better off? And the numbers suggest that you would. Not financial advice. I'm just saying what the numbers are. I'm not telling you guys to go buy Bitcoin or ETH or Solana. I'm just saying what the numbers are saying. And you got to look at those individual assets and say to yourself, do you feel like those are valuable to take your dirty, nasty fiat and take a position on those assets? Do you feel like it's worth it to get 140% on your $100 or your $1,000 or your $10,000? Do you feel like it's worth it to get 152% on your $100, on your $1,000, on your $10,000 of your hard-earned money? Do you feel like it's worth it getting 220% return on your $100, on your $1,000, on your $10,000 of your hard-earned money? Or are you looking at the numbers? Are you looking at what could happen with awesome technology? Is your full bet on what could happen and who's coming? And meanwhile, are you missing out on 141% year over year on your money? 152% year over year on your money? 224%. Solana just came out, what, 3, 4, 5 years ago? I don't even know how long. But those are the numbers. And again, he did these numbers including the pullbacks, including the bear market stuff. So, it's hard to argue that. And it's, Rob Paul shares it. He says he's got most of everything is in Solana. And then he has a couple of meme coin plays, and I think he's got some SUI because he's a board member on SUI, SUI. He's going a different direction. He initially was Bitcoin, in it, out of it for a few years, got back in it, sold it all, got into ETH, rode ETH all the way up, because he's a trader, he's a macro trader. Rode ETH all the way up, sold it, and said he thinks the next thing is Solana. So he did the Solana thing at $6, $8, $10. Right? But you can't argue the numbers and be like, well, where's the real world use case? There's people saying right now, well, where's the real world use case? What problem are they solving? This is what they're saying. What problem are they solving? How about the fact that you were once, people were broke, and now they're not broke so more. So much. How about that? That's how about that? How about there was in debt, now they're not in debt? How about that? Is that a real world use case? They were in debt, and now they're not in debt. Because holding those assets kind of gets you that. Keela says they're solving my rent problem. Yeah, exactly. Right? Solving that mortgage problem, solving that rent problem, solving that car payment problem. Like, what are we talking about? Real world use case? What are we talking about? Oh, Bitcoin has no utility. Really? Really? Well, it's helping me buy. Gary Cardone said, oh, what was that video? Shamath, Pop, that dude. I'm talking about, the Facebook dude. You seen that video, right? You guys seen that video? That's a good video. I wish I could play it, but my laptop is just a mess right now. Like, it's completely frozen. But he shared in a video, Shamath said, he showed a scenario of Bitcoin and this possible 500K Bitcoin based on this and based on that. Shamath, it was on the All In podcast with Shamath, the guy from whatever. So Yakazi says, helping to solve this retirement problem. Like, it's amazing to me that people will look at Bitcoin and ETH and Solana and say, oh, what's the real utility use case? They bought into someone else's narrative and trying to push it on you. So, oh no, don't own any Bitcoin. There's no utility there. Don't own any ETH, the gas fees. Don't own any Solana. It's just a meme coin token and it breaks. So people don't own it. And the 30-day thing for XRP is down 1%. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not suggesting people should get rid of XRP. I'm not getting rid of mine. But what I'm saying is, can you argue the numbers? I mean, those are the numbers. Like, can you argue it? Are we really saying, I mean, man, 224% of my money year over year for the last 3, 4, 5 years. But, the chain keeps, but the chain, the chain keeps going down. I know I just turned my $1,000 into $2,000 without having to do anything. But, the chain keeps going down. I just turned my $10,000 into $20,000. But, Fire Dancer is not out yet. Chain keeps breaking. Ethereum's gas. I know I just made 150% year over year for the last 8, 9 years on my Ethereum, but the gas fees. Shamath, the Facebook guy, let me look, I can't even put the thing in there. Chamath, and then the last name starts with a P, Facebook guy. But the podcast, I believe, is called the All In Podcast. It might be on X. I saw the video from X. But he had an interesting scenario of Bitcoin doing 500K. And he went on to say that, this October of 2025, 500K. But he went on to also say something that I think is more significant than the Bitcoin reaching 500K. And that is, he said that maybe not large countries like the US or the UK, but there are countries, because of their situation, maybe it's their current sovereign currency or whatever, are going to turn into a two currency country. And he suggests that to get your gas, to get some groceries, you'll be using your sovereign currency. But for getting hard assets like real estate or something along those lines, you would use your Bitcoin. Because it's a very, very interesting thing. Yeah, a home that cost $100,000 20 years ago costs a certain amount of Bitcoin. Let's say it was 30 Bitcoin. That house today is now $500,000. Well, it's going to cost you less Bitcoin to get the house. It doesn't cost you more Bitcoin. It will cost less Bitcoin. You understand? Because Bitcoin, year over year, it ain't going the other direction. Keyless. It's not going down and to the left. Bitcoin is going up and to the right, year over year. Even with 85% pullbacks. I mean, it just clicked and dawned on me like, that is true. But we're so hung up in utility, and you can't really use it for anything. And then we say, well, Ethereum got all these use cases, all these projects on it, but those fees. And what I'm saying is this kind of thinking, this kind of preaching, this kind of talking is talking people out of assets that are returning them year over year for 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Solana, 3, 4, 5 years, however long Solana's been out. And you can't argue those numbers. Like, what's the annualized return for XLM? I don't know. What is it? I don't know. I don't know if you can figure it out. But if they figured out what Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana is. Now, what's his name did he did a presentation, Raul Paul, and those are the top 3. Those are the top 3. Those are the top 3. Yeah, and he had the top 3 there. It was a great presentation, by the way. It was the one where he did a 2-hour presentation. So anyway, I can't find it. But yeah, you should check that out. All right, guys, I got to hop off here. The laptop's not working great. The internet's not working great, but it's just something to consider, something to ponder. I certainly would never begin to tell you guys what to do with your money. No way I would do that. But yeah, this thing is not working. Those are the numbers. You're welcome, Keyless. You're welcome. Those are the numbers, and it's hard to argue with. And if you want to check that Raoul Paul presentation out, it's on this, I believe it's on this, it's either on this Raoul Paul, the Journeyman channel, or it is on the Real Vision channel. And the chart just says what it is. Dexter Big Bang says, let's hope the exchanges stay up. Yeah, I know, especially Coinbase. You're right about that, Dexter. Appreciate you checking in. So, I mean, somewhere along the lines, we got to make this stuff all make sense. And those numbers make sense. Because otherwise, aren't you just beholden to QE and QT and macro forces and the Federal Reserve and what they're going to do and inflation and all those different kind of things? Aren't you just beholden to that when you're just waiting for when moon? Remember, the when moons of the charts historically and the data shows that the when moons happen in certain during certain market periods. It has nothing to do with, 4-year cycles and all that. It's different market forces have to come together to get this little alt season thing that we all like. Or regardless of the bear or the bull run, throughout the period of time, you get annualized returns up 141%, up 152%, or up 224%. So, all right, fam, there it is. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to try and see if I can end this live stream here because nothing is working on my laptop. But thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have an awesome, awesome, super night. And I will check with you guys tomorrow. Let me see something here. Yeah. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.